I appreciate the opportunity to appear before you today to provide my views on S-1470, the Forest Jobs and Recreation Act. I'm here today on behalf of Trout Unlimited and the National Wildlife Federation. TU and NWF strongly support the bill, and we commend Senator Tester and his staff for their extraordinary leadership in developing it. S-1470 would protect as wilderness over 670,000 acres, as well as designate 300,000 acres of special management units. By so doing, it will protect clean, cold water, as well as essential habitats for wild and native trout, as well as some of the nation's most storied rivers. The bill will also help to secure habitats for Canada lynx, a listed species, as well as wolverine, elk, and mountain goat, all species that need undisturbed habitats. In his speech in Seattle that was referenced earlier by Undersecretary Sherman, Secretary Tom Vilsack spoke of the need for a, quote, shared vision built on collaboration that will move us beyond the timber wars of the past. For 2 decades, these Montana forests have been mired in a stalemate that fails to protect fish or restore wildlife. Wilderness has not been designated in the state for over 25 years. Hundreds of impassable culverts on the forest fragment fish habitat. Dense networks of obsolete roads restrict elk security and movement and contribute heavy loads of sediment to streams. The notion of collaborative stewardship articulated by Secretary Vilsack is what brought together the timber companies, ranchers, sportsmen, motorized users, and environmentalists that support S-1470. Some worry about the bill's requirement for mechanized treatment of 10,000 acres per year. None of the supporters of this bill expect or would support 10,000 acres of clear cuts. Furthermore, the bill has no timber supply requirements or legislated logging levels, as has been suggested earlier today. Mechanical treatment implies a number of things, from commercial to non-commercial harvest, to thinning in areas where communities and forests meet. The Forest Service will define treatment units according to existing laws and regulations and the consensus of a balanced advisory committee. The project alternatives could range from cutting a few trees to cutting more. Importantly, the bill also makes clear that the priority will be already roaded areas, not pristine roadless areas. Replacing blocked culverts and removing old, unused roads will improve water quality and habitat for native trout while enhancing elk security and maintaining Montana's long hunting seasons. It is important to realize that there are at least 150,000 acres of so-called wildland-urban interface covered by the bill. Well more than half of those are forested and could be thinned to protect human communities from the effects of fire. In other words, we could accomplish a significant percentage of the acreage targets in the bill simply by protecting human communities from the effects of fire. None of the supporters of S-1470 believe that it is an appropriate prescription for all national forests. But given the paralysis, as one former chief put it, that the Forest Service finds itself in, we should be open to all good ideas that bring people together to help sustain the lands and waters that we all depend on. The nation needs a strong Forest Service. We need its extraordinary knowledge and leadership to help human communities and fish and wildlife to adapt to the effects of a changing climate. We do not think S-1470 a panacea. We do, however, believe it vital to help foster within the Forest Service the type of collaboration and negotiation that brought us here today. Rather than serve as a laxative for legislating collaboratives, S-1470 could have a transformative effect within the Forest Service. By sanctioning this effort to bring together diverse interests to meet the needs of the lands and nearby communities, Congress can send a clear message to the Forest Service that encourages the agency to lead, promote, or otherwise enable collaborative stewardship within the forest planning process. President Theodore Roosevelt once defined conservation as the application of common sense to common problems for the common good. That definition is the motivating factor behind S 1470. This bill is a demonstration of what can happen when people focus on the values that bind rather than the distinctions that divide. We urge the committee to support and pass the bill and appreciate the opportunity to be here today.